Hi, good morning, one and all. Today, I will give you introduction about Ethereum wallet. Why should we use wallet? What is the role of this wallet in blockchain technology? In blockchain, currency is encrypted by merchant to seller with the help of network cryptography. So, to transfer a currency of any goods in web apps, like example, if you can take Bob will share a public key to do a transaction. So there you use a Ethereum currency to transfer or afford the commodity from the seller. See here seller in the sense cat, where Bob is merchant. So we will go into the deeper the Ethereum wallet. See here Ethereum wallet is representing, it's a type of software application, and it that allows how the interaction between the Ethereum account in the Ethereum network or in a Ethereum blockchain. See here the Ethereum wallets are controlled through a password or a private key. See in the beginning we have taken the example from the Bob to cat, the transaction made by using the Ethereum wallet. See, for that transaction made, here the Bob has been shared the private key. So these private keys are only available to the owner of a wallet due to the privacy. See, if you are sharing the public key, then it is no problem at all. If you are sharing the private key, it will be privacy problem, and they may loosen the particular transaction. That means it may be fork has been appeared. Here the fork in the sense copy of the same public key or private key for multiple transactions, so that accounts are used to create smart contracts, to interact with the decentralized applications, or used to run applications smoothly without any fraud, downtime, or third party interference. So like that, here the importance of Ethereum wallet we can observe. So in the next slide, what we can observe. So what is the Ethereum wallet address? So here the Ethereum wallet address is maybe it can be encrypted with a 42 hexadecimal character that start with the zeros, and it is followed by series 40 random characters which can be sent the transactions has a balance it. So for example, here we can take 0, X, B, like this is the one of the type of Ethereum address. See this much of 16-bit characters or 42 hexadecimal character that may be represented with the Ethereum address. So like that, the unique address is required to receive funds from another cryptocurrency network and to access it. If you would share the own private key, so that in order to access your private key, you must have your own MetaMask, Coinbase, or Trezor one, or like that some of your few names are there. Later on we can go with that Ethereum wallet address where we can apply dynamically in the performing of transactions. Now the what is a private key? How can we uh, done the transaction with this private key in the Ethereum wallet address especially? So the first point it is saying that a private key is a secured and secret number that helps users to secure their digital money and also allows them to make transactions and generate the receiving addresses. So private key is mainly it is a secure and secret number that helps users to secure their digital money. Like whenever you are going to withdraw the money in the ATM, we have to insert a ATM card, and then we have to enter the amount. What are the credentials is required there? We will input has been given from the number pad. Like that, here the private key also work like to made a transaction in the Ethereum network. The secret number act as a secret password, and that protects that user from the unauthorized access to protect their frauds. See, so many ethical hackers will be there. Hacking will be done while we are going to do the transaction. We have to take a very carefully to securing the private key. So in the private key is also known as known to the user and user to carry out any cryptocurrency transaction from their account. Here especially the change is required. Why the Ethereum wallet is more compared to the other wallets. Here we are not sharing the private key to everyone. Only those who are that made the transaction between the Bob and Cat, like in the initial example, there how we are sharing that private key. Here they like that only the private key can be derived from the public keys. So the hence public keys has been derived from the address of where the private key has been derived from the public key. Some cannot be said vice versa. Why this is not work with the vice versa? Here the multiple transaction has been done in the particular uh, user and merchant. Every time they could not able to change the private key. So here the public keys can be changed, so that Ethereum addresses has been and the private keys are public key very different from the public key to private key, vice versa. And next slide, what it is saying that why do we need a private key? See, there are several reasons to use the private key is required. The first one is a private key secured codes are not meant to be given to anyone, but users need a method to which can be allow other users to find their assets and vice versa. As a result, we use Ethereum addresses that are derived from the private key, which can be shared and other users to know our cryptocurrency assets and balance. To create an Ethereum address, we need a public key, which is shared from a user private key. So this is the use of private key. Introduction to solidity. See, as of now, we have discussed about the Ethereum wallet and how it is affected to the transaction between made between the Bob and Cat. And coming to the Solidity. Solidity is a new brand programming language to create a Ethereum. So now users has been made the transaction by using the Ethereum wallet. So for this Ethereum wallet, the converting the sharing the private key and creating the public key also. So here the Solidity is the main programming course for Ethereum currency transaction. So it is released in the year 2015, led by Christian Redwin sir. So some case of features are Solidity are listed below. Solidity is a high-level programming language designed for implement the smart contracts. And it is a statically typed object-oriented program like our OOPS concept is there, like Java programming, and it is look like the same Java programming, but it is not a Java console. It is a different console we have prepared. Why the very much need is also already you know about that to how Ethereum currency has been developed for this made a transactions. So Solidity is highly influenced by Python, CPP, JavaScript to run on Ethereum virtual machine. Here using the Ethereum virtual machine we are using. And Solidity supports complex user-defined programming libraries and etc. And Solidity is the primary language for the blockchain running platforms. Solidity can be used to create smart contracts like voting, build coin auctions, and multi-signature wallets, etc. So this is how introduction to Solidity has been completed. So we will go through into that upcoming topics. Thank you for listening. And if you have any doubts in the session, please mention in the comment box. Thank you very much.